Sri Sai Ram. Hearty welcome to Sri Sathya Sai Loka Seva Gurukulam free online classes in science. Today we have a very interesting chapter which every day we are experiencing from morning till night. We are experiencing this force and pressure. And this force is something very interesting. And can you just list out where all the force are applying? Correct? If you want to push a person, force is necessary. If you want to lift a trunk, force is necessary. Correct? For anything and everything, you want to make chapati, if you ask your mother, she will tell force is needed. And if you are riding a bicycle, force is necessary. Correct? To kick for the motorbike. Of course, nowadays they have replaced it. But earlier they used to kick. For that, force is necessary. Is it not? So, force is something very, very important in our daily life. What does the force do? Is that makes an object slow down or go faster or change its direction of motion. And most of you know play cricket. In cricket, what happens when a bowler bowls? He bowls with a force, and batsman, by seeing the line of the ball, he hits it. So by hitting that ball, what happens? He applies the force. What does the force do? There it makes to go faster. Of course, if the ball is so fast, he can't do it. You can just give a hook. Then he makes it slow. And what does he do? One more thing is he changes the line of the force. Means if the ball is coming outside the off stump, he will hit it and changes the line of the ball. Correct? So all this makes the what is called as force. So it changes the direction of motion also. Even in football also, a person will kick. Is it not? In the starting of the game, kick will be given, applying force. Another person gives a head. If the ball comes near his head, he will give a head to it. So that a direction will be changed. Speed will be changed. So the all very interesting things. They are called applications of force. So we experience while playing football, hockey or cricket. How many play cricket? Raise your hands. And some of the girls also play cricket. Nowadays our Indian women are top in cricket. Even men also. Is it not? So, and some of them who have got very good ground, especially if you go to Coorg, they play hockey very well in Coorg. And football also in Bangalore, in Mysore and many of the cities where there is a good ground is there. Mangalore also. They play football also. And let us just see some interesting things about this. So here there will be a goalkeeper. For every football team, there will be what is called as goalkeeper. Is it not? How many goalkeepers will be there? 2 goalkeepers, correct? So what they do? They stop the ball. There will be what is called as goal post. And they stop the ball coming and falling into the post. His work is a very tough job. He has to stop the ball. Is it not? There are so many techniques. So here what does it do? So let us recall the changes that takes place in nature by the application of or removal of force. Application of force means kicking a ball. Removal of force means stopping the ball. In cricket also, when the batsman hits, the fielder will come and try to stop it. So hitting is a force. That is nothing but application of force. Stopping the ball is nothing but reducing a removal of force. And if a catch comes, he may catch it also. So there the force is completely removed. It comes to zero. Correct? So all of you got very good experience about this. So this is about football. Why it is called football? Because the ball is kicked by foot. And if you touch in a hand, means there will be a lapse of points. And if you use a stick, what the game will be called? They will call as hockey. Actually, our Indian national game is hockey. Very rarely we get championship in that, but it was there in the Britishers' time also. So they use a very big stick here. They use a cork ball. And again, there are also in like football, there are two goal posts. Is it not? Here, he will be hitting with the stick. So hitting with the stick is application of force. And opponents are now pushing the ball to this goal post. They will just smash it or try to stop it. So that is also a very good example of that. And here is a fielder who is stopping a ball. This is the boundary line. So ball is coming near to the boundary. Just to avoid the boundary, sometimes they will use their legs. That's why all players should have shoes. What about you? You got shoes? Okay, you should have. When you go to the ground for this, especially this type of hard games, should have shoes. Sometimes they use their legs to stop the ball. And if it is easily available, they use hands also. Sometimes they will fall also. Is it not? Especially when it is coming near to the boundary line, just to avoid 4 scores. Okay? These are some of the interesting things that we see in daily life, the application of force. Now let us see some details about force. So how do you define a force? By seeing these examples, we say there will be a push or pull on an object is called a force. Okay? Pushing means like this. It may be by one hand or both the hands. Pulling means like this. Correct? So shall we see some examples for that? We can say that the motion imparted to objects due to action of a force. So what does a force do? By application of force, there will be motion. See, when a bowler bowls, ball is in his hands of the bowler. So it was stationary. Only when he starts bowling, he starts moving. Correct? So motion is there to the ball objects. Even football also, they bring to the middle line and a toss will be put and they start kicking. So before kicking, the ball will be stationary. So when the kick is given, it starts moving. So we say force has come into action. Is it not? See here. Here the two hands, he is pressing. So when it is pressed like this, that's also a kind of force. And here it is pulling from these sides. So this push or pull on an object. So immediately you can think of two objects here. Is it not? So for a force to act, there are two things are needed. There are different kinds of force in nature, and one is called gravitational force. What is gravitational force? So this is an example of gravitational force. What is this? This is solar system. Why it is called solar system? The sun will be at the center and all the planets will be going around the sun. Come on, what are the names of the planets? Mercury, Venus, Earth, and actually there will be the asteroid belt here. Small heavenly bodies called asteroids. Then you have Mars, Jupiter, biggest planet in the solar system. Then comes a beautiful planet called Saturn. Then you have Uranus and Neptune. These are the 8 planets going around the sun. What makes this planet go around the sun? That is nothing but gravitational force. Suppose you throw anything, objects on the throw up, what happens? It is bound to fall down. Why does it fall down? It is because of gravitational force. And next one is mechanical force. So the force applied on an object by the help of machines. So here is a machine. It is having a spring here and hooks are there. So by the help of the hook they will lift up lot of luggage, especially heavy, what you call stones or girders, this and that. They lifted up. How it is done? By a crane. This is called crane. There will be a person sitting inside here. He will operate. You might have seen a JCB. Is it not? How the JCB works. So there is a mechanical force. And also you have electrical force. What is this? Electric motor. What does a motor do? Motor is a device which converts electric energy into mechanical energy. So here is mechanical energy. This is electricity supplied to this, that is transferred to mechanical energy. Is it not? So this works under the electric force. Whenever there is power supplied, then only it acts. And also you have magnetic force. What is this magnet called? This is called horseshoe magnet. There are different kinds of magnets. Bar magnet you have seen, rectangular. Then magnetic needle, compass, and mariner's compass, and so on. Every magnet will have 2 poles called as North Pole and South Pole. And here, what is this? They are iron nails. Why does it attract the iron nails? That is called as magnetic force. And you might have experimented. Like poles repel each other. Like poles means what? When the 2 poles, like the 2 magnets, suppose you have north pole of one magnet and north pole of another magnet, there will be repulsion. I think you have seen it. That is called repulsive force. Suppose you have 2 magnets of different polarity, there will be attraction. So like poles repel each other, unlike force attract each other. That is called magnetic force. Also you might have seen the waterfalls. Have you seen waterfalls? So this is a beautiful photo of a waterfall. And of course, North Karnataka boys, they find very rarely to see it. And there, water falls from a very high, great heights. Can you name some waterfalls? In Karnataka? Yes, Jog Falls. Jog Falls is the highest falls in India, and that is in Karnataka, that is Shivamogga district. So this is the flow of water. Okay. Here, why does it fall? It falls because due to gravitation, and there will be transfer of energy. The water which is stored potential energy, they are stored energy converted to kinetic energy. What is the use of this? It is used to produce electricity. For example, in Jog Falls, we have got a very beautiful dam. What is called? Anybody? Yes, Linganamaki Dam, correct. So in Linganamaki Dam, they produce electricity with the help of generators. And now we are going to see one video about rocket launching. You heard about rocket launching? Yes? Yeah. What is a rocket? It is a device which carries satellites to space. Even they carry man also, man or woman also. Correct? So they carry to space. When a rocket is launched, there will be action and reaction. Two kinds of force act there. Action means the smoke going out when the fuel is burnt inside the rocket. It is action. Reaction is rocket going in the opposite direction according to Newton's third law. So there are two kinds of forces there which are equal and opposite. So that is what you can see in rockets. Okay. And where is the rocket launching station in India? It is in, come on, Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. Where do they prepare? They prepare rockets in Tumba of Kerala. Correct? Where the satellites they prepare? Satellite is manufactured in Bangalore, ISRO. Okay. Now let us see forces due to interactions. In a daily life, we come across many situations of force. We can tell hundreds of examples every day. So to show some of them, we will have one or two pictures here. In all these, what do you observe? We find that at least two objects are needed. For a force to exist, two things, two objects are needed, and they should interact. Suppose you say a man is bowling. Anil Kumble, the famous bowler of Karnataka, 10 wickets in an innings, correct? So when he bowls means there are two things. One is Anil Kumble, another is ball. So when a ball is bowled, then action takes place. Is it not? Suppose you pull a string, action and reaction will be there. So there is an interaction of force of one object with another object, results in a force between the two objects. Suppose you are sitting in a chair. Is it not? One is you have to lift the chair. So you want two things here. One is a person to lift it. Another is chair. Correct? So two things must be there, then only a force will take place. Correct? Now let us see some examples. A man standing behind a stationary car. So here is a car. Can I name some of the cars? What is the best car in the world? Yes? Benz. Correct. So Benz is the best car in the world. There are so many types, of course, not one or two. There are hundreds of cars now. Maruti is the most common one, correct? So here is a person standing behind the car. So the car is steady there, not moving. Now will the car move due to his presence? If he is sitting simply inside the car, will it move? No. You have to switch on, is it not? He has to press the accelerator. You have to turn the, what is that? Steering, like that. Then only it starts moving, correct? So that is what person inside him can do. Or if he is, suppose it is in trouble, not moving, especially in the mornings in the winter season it happens. Then here is a person who pushes it. See, he is sweating here. He is pushing. By pushing, what is he doing? He is applying force. Correct? Sometimes you have to pull it also. So, for a force to exist, one person should push. Here there are two things. One is car, another is person. And by the interaction of these two, force will take place. The man is applying force. The car may begin to move in the direction of the applied force. Suppose he pushes in this direction, car will move in that direction. Is it not? Instead of that, suppose he pushes from this direction, that will go back. So the car will move in the direction of force. Correct? And here I think many are girl students. Is it not? The girls will enjoy this. Every day this is type of fighting will be there. So what are the girls doing here? Three situations are given below. Can you decide who is pushing and who is pulling in this situation? So here, of course, they are not quarreling. They are holding on each other's hands. So it may take place that they go around also. And suppose it is fighting, one will push the other, another will show the reaction. So either pushing or pulling will take place. So here both of them appear to be pushing each other. Is it not? This competition is already there. In everyday life, we find competition for everything. Here they are going around. So they are trying to pull each other. See, the legs are also very close, hands also tight, go around. Suppose hands are not tight, what happens? One of them will fall off. Correct? So this is very interesting, especially girls will enjoy. And it does not mean that boys won't do. Boys also do. Boys, plays and tricks are different. This is girls' tricks. So, and one more thing, this is usually in farmers. You can see in the villages every day. And especially in evenings, they are supposed to bring the bullock. You can say cow also. So here what is he doing? He is having in a strong string. With the help of that, he is pulling the cow. But the cow for some reason don't want to come. So what is the cow doing? Cow is pulling in the other direction. He is pulling in this direction. Sometimes it obliges. Sometimes it may not oblige. So here is pushing and pulling. That is how we say force is being applied. And that time you will use so many techniques. Sometimes he hits in the back. Sometimes he pats the cow. Sometimes he shows some grass. Like that. So anyway, these are applications of force where pushing and pulling take place. Is it not? So, what do we see from all these figures? Here is inference drawn from these examples are at least two objects must interact for a force to come into play. Okay, so two objects needed. Here is a cow and a man. Here two girls. Here also two girls. Correct? So two objects are needed when you say force is being applied. Let us see one more example. Here, what do you see here? Here is a box. And what is the guys doing? They are pushing it. So what happens to the box? Box moves in the direction of pushing. Suppose they are pushing in this direction, pushing in direction, box will move in this direction. Here what they do? They are pulling. This fellow is pulling this side and this fellow is pushing this side. So because it is heavy, two persons are needed. He tries his best. He is trying his best to pull it. He is trying his best to push it. A heavy box is difficult to push in a particular direction. So when one of your friends help to push in the same direction, it is easier to move. Is it not? You will call some person. Suppose you want to lift a table. It is heavy and big in size. One person cannot lift it as it is. So you call one more boy. Come on, give a hand, helping hand. So if both of you join together, you can lift the table. Suppose you want to push the bench or desk. One person may not be able to push it. Then two persons, sometimes three, join together, push it. So that is all very interesting examples of forces. So in a game like tug of war, the only game wherein the winners will go back. Are you following what I am telling? Winners will go back. He is called tug of war. Here what they do? There will be two teams pull a rope in opposite directions. Very strong rope. Why you want strong rope? Because so many persons pulling it. Sometimes the rope simply does not move. If the two teams are strong, see here is a very casual tug of war. It is not a match here for joke purpose. Here is one team pulling this direction, another team pulling this direction. There will be a marker here and there will be a line here. If this red kerchief or whatever it is, marker, passes this touching line, then we say that these are winners. And if it passes that, then we call that they are the winners. Very interesting. Especially there is a lot of cheers from the audience. Correct? I think most of you have seen it, correct? If you have not seen it, you can see in the sports meet time. Okay? And also, if the two forces act in opposite directions on an object, the net force acting on it is the difference between the two forces. For example, tug of war, one team is strong, another team is little weak. What happens? The strong team will fall off easily. So that's the difference between the force. And if both are equal, we can't say who will win. Sometimes go this direction, sometimes go that direction. In cricket match also, suppose India is playing against Hong Kong. Hong Kong is very child in cricket and it is a weak team. India is a strong team. So everybody expects that India will definitely win. Is it not? So like that, if more than one force may be acting on one object, the effect on the object is due to the net force acting on it. So more than one force. Suppose you want to push a table, not 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes 4 members are pushing it. So what happens? Effect on the object is due to the net force acting on it. So force 1, 2, 3, 4 all added together. Correct? So that is also a very interesting thing you are noting down. Now every force will have what is called magnitude. For example, if you want to measure the length of the table, you use the scale, correct? That is the magnitude we say. If you want to see your weight, so many kgs, you have a weighing machine and you say my weight is so many kgs, correct? That is called magnitude. If you want to say the time is say 4 o'clock. So that 4 o'clock is the magnitude of time. So we have to also to specify the direction in which a force acts. So force is called a vector quantity which has both magnitude and direction. How do you measure force? There is a unit. In physics will say there is a unit called Newton, which you are going to study later. Okay. And direction means the force will act in which direction it working out. So this is a very interesting chapter. Let us see some home assignment here. Very simple questions. Give 2 examples each of a situation in which you push or pull to change the state of motion of objects. Name any 4 kinds of forces that you experience in your daily life. In a game like tug of war, what kind of forces do you experience? Write your conclusions. What conclusions do you give for that? Come prepared. Let us see what Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai says. This is a beautiful photo. He says, patience with others is love. Suppose your friends are doing some mistakes or knowing some mistake. Suppose you wait some time, and that is called patience. That is love. Patience with oneself is hope. If you have done a mistake and teacher is scolding you, you know it is your mistake. You have to bear it. That is hope. Tomorrow onwards I will be all right. Patience with God is faith. So many problems will come in life. Maybe some diseases, some accidents, something, financial problem, this, that. All that is faith in God. Okay? Come prepared for the answers. Thank you.